Hey there, welcome back friends. In this section we have definitely built this form and we have also tried to submit the form to JSP file and servlet. Now things were working properly, but there is a issue. For example, we tried to submit this form without entering any information. Then what would be the outcome? Definitely our form will get submitted, but somehow we won't be able to see the output in a proper format. There would be some issues in here. Now friends, the reason why we are getting this inconsistent output is definitely incomplete data. Now in these kind of scenario, definitely adding some kind of validation could be a good idea. So let us navigate to form.jsp file, and in here first of all we would be applying a basic validation on full name. So in here we will mark this field as required. Let me refresh the page and let me try to submit, and now the full name is a required field and we need to enter some information, then only the form can be submitted. So this is the basic validation. Now friends, moving forward we need to apply some validation on gender as well. For example, I add in my name and try to submit this form. For gender, the output would be null, which isn't a good thing, right? So in here, in order to add some validation, let us again navigate to form.jsp, and for these two radio button, we won't be able to add the validation required. What is the alternate solution? The alternate solution is marking a radio button checked by default. So in here, we will simply type in checked equal to checked, and by adding this particular element for one of the radio button will mark a radio button checked by default. Now in here, as we can easily see, gender male is checked by default. Now for example, a user would like to change the gender. She can click on female, and in here definitely now the gender would be updated to female. Now in this case where we have a specific gender checked already, the user won't be able to deselect both of these genders at a time. Whenever the user selects male, female will deselected, whereas whenever the user will select female, male radio button will deselected. So this is good. Whereas for languages known and country, we need not to worry about any validation. Let me show you the controller. In here, we already have a fail-safe mechanism for languages known, and in fact, there is a issue as well. We have taken this variable as countries and it should be languages. So let me do one small little thing. Let me refactor this real quick. So I will refactor and rename this one and give the name as languages. So that was a silly mistake though. Alright, so issue is fixed, and now let us also add a BR tag after the failsafe mechanism real quick. So now everything seems to be good enough. Let me refresh the page. In the background it is reloading the context. Alright, so everything seems to be good enough, and in here now I will give my name as Chand Sheikh, gender as male, and known languages English, Hindi, and we will try to submit the form, and here is the output. Perfect. Let me revisit the form, and this time we deselect English and Hindi and we will try to submit the form. Alright, so everything is working properly and the output is good enough. Validation is applied. Let me get rid of any of the data by refreshing this form and try to submit the form. Here is the validation. Let me add my name. Now let me click on submit. Alright, so everything is working perfectly and as expected. So this was a very short and sweet video where we have talked about some basic validation and how we should handle form. Alright, now friends, this required validation is definitely feature of HTML and this is not a feature of JSP or Servlet. This is by default available, and it might happen that in some browser this validation may not work. Alright, so this is it for today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.